I just convinced a billionaire to give me $50K and then mentor me. I started surfing at the age of 5, competing at 9, and then at 14, I became the youngest to ever surf Mavericks.
What's one of the biggest risks you've taken?
Surfing a 70-foot wave.
Yeah.
You can die very quickly. You look at someone like Elon, they have now figured out the dexterity of the hand. What are you gonna do against someone or a nation that has 1 trillion robots? Like, you ain't doing nothing. If you don't take a risk, your children will end up working for someone who did. And if that doesn't fire you up, I don't know what the will. We work for money and they have the ability to print it. We trade our time and energy for something another man can print. It's fucking wild.
What is your plan for the future? What do you expect people to see in a few years from yourself?
For me, I'm gonna probably grow Ice Beanie to...
Doesn't stuff feel like it's getting quite a bit harder?
It's becoming, it seems like, more challenging, and the cost of things seems to be rising. And I think about this all the time, especially when you run your own company.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for instance, what is money? You know, money is a means of exchange, a unit of account, a store of value. A lot of people don't even know what that means or where it comes from, but they manipulate the money supply. In short, the banking cartels. That's why the cost of things continue to go up. There's this big, basically, scam that's going on with how they manipulate the money supply, and the average person that doesn't understand where money comes from, how it's created, who has basically sovereign immunity, the Bank of International Settlements, which basically means they're above the law. They have a license to print and steal money. We work for money and they have the ability to print it. We trade our time and energy for something another man can print. It's fucking wild. It's crazy. And I feel like running your own business is the only way to get out of this.
And how did you come to this realization? So what, first of all, for a background to the viewers, what are you currently doing? What are you building out? And then what has led to you experiencing this realization?
Well, it took me reading a lot of financial books and really obsessing over macro and what money is, because when you're in charge of your family and you are the one to bring in the bread, to bring in the money, you have to understand what money is, right? Because in the beginning, you end up trading your time for currency units. And the only way I feel like you can ever get out of that debt trap loop is you have to trade your time for money and then use your money to then create time. I'm at that second stage now, but a little background on me: professional big wave surfer. And then I launched a company called Ice Beanie, and we met in Bali and through an AI mastermind. And here we are having a chat, and let's see where this goes.
Yeah, nice. So, okay, to start about the big wave surfing, what was the background in that? What were you doing? And then now going on to Ice Beanie, what are you doing there?
Background on big wave surfing. Well, I was born in Santa Cruz, California. I started surfing at the age of 5, competing at 9. And then at 14, I became the youngest to ever surf Mavericks. I started making money from surfing. I started competing. And that eventually led me into getting into the Mavericks contest and winning it. And now I'm the longest reigning Mavericks champion of all time, which is pretty cool. And then from there, I kind of realized, well, with that small amount of money I won from those events, I took it and I deployed it into real estate. And then from there, I was like, well, I need to figure out a way to be able to take care of myself financially and my family. And that led me down a long road of figuring out basically you need equity in either real estate or business. And so I had that building up in the real estate side. So I'm like, okay, I got to launch a business. And the genesis of my company, Ice Beanie, really started in Nazaré, Portugal, when I slipped and fell surfing the biggest wave in the world. I cracked my head. I took a bad spill. And for months after that, I had terrible post-concussion migraine headaches. And so I wanted to find an all natural relief solution for my head pain. And I'd always wear beanies, and I'm thinking one day in the gym, we're taught growing up, if we scrape our elbows and knees to ice ourselves, why don't we ice our heads? And this was several years ago now. And I'm like, all right. So I went home, I put pen to paper, and I started putting ice packs inside a beanie and putting it on my head. And I drew up what is now Ice Beanie, and we launched that, did 6 figures our first year, found traction. I was lucky enough to get on Shark Tank, and I ended up getting a deal with Mark Cuban, and it's been a wild ride. Now we're expanding into retail, but it's been crazy. The journey's been nuts.
That's an incredible entrepreneur story. Solving a problem from personal experience is always what you see with some of the biggest and coolest entrepreneurs.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that was the goal. I had my own problem. I wanted to fix it, and then once I started using the product, I'm like, fuck, okay, I think I might be able to sell this thing. It's pretty solid. And, gave it to a few people to try. They liked it. I'm like, all right, let's go. And I remember thinking I had some money saved from some of my contest winnings. I'm like, all right, I have 10K. I'm going to deploy this 10K into this business venture. And either I'm going to get a $10,000 lesson in a business failure, it's going to flop, or I'm going to find success. And I kind of framed it in that way to where I was like, okay, I was okay either way. I framed it as like a win or learn situation. Remember I was telling you that? And luckily it took off. We found success and here we are.
So it was a 10K lesson or just 10K to start the business.
Yeah, exactly.
That's beautiful. Yeah. And then what was the process of like going to Shark Tank, meeting Mark Cuban, all the sharks?
That process was pretty intense. It was pretty grueling. It took place over about 9 to 10 months. Initially, I actually was at the gym when I thought of the idea to apply. And, like if you have inspired thought, you need to act on it immediately. That's how I operate. That's how I run my life. The moment I thought about applying, I'm like, fuck it, let's just do it. So I sat down in between sets and figured out where to apply online, applied online, and then kind of just forgot about it. And then a few days later, I get an email back and they're like, oh, we read your application. We're excited to accept you into the next round. Submit A, B, and C, and let's continue the conversation. So I got really excited. But every time in the email, they'd basically be like, okay, you're advancing to the next round, but you're not guaranteed to air, or this might not happen, basically. And we went through like 5 or 6 different rounds of that. Eventually, they flew me out to Vegas, and this was during COVID, mind you, so it was a really stressful time. And so they created a bubble around the hotel. They tested everyone left and right. They basically put me in a hotel room for 7 to 10 days and said, you cannot leave the hotel room. We're going to test you left and right. And if you come out and you have a positive test, even a false positive, you go home. So like basically 10 months of going back and forth, jumping through all the hoops could end with one fucking false positive test. And I was like stressing about that because it's literally outside your control. But I remember just like sitting in the hotel room, and you couldn't open the windows in the hotel room. So it was insane because I guess people jump out. Like I wanted to get some fresh air, but they wouldn't let us leave. Anyways, got through that, tested negative, then was on the set of Shark Tank, and you get one opportunity to pitch. One opportunity. If you fuck up, they say, all right, next. So they wanted me to surf into the tank. This is the idea of one of the producers. I'm like, all right, okay. So they put me on a skateboard that had a surfboard basically duct taped to the top of it with an electric remote that I only got to try one time, and I had to pull on the throttle enough to then jump off the board, land on my mark on the carpet, and then present my pitch. And luckily, the first time I did it, I pulled it and landed perfectly on my mark and nailed the pitch and ended up getting a deal with Mark. It was pretty nuts.
Why do you think they selected you from that massive pool in the intro?
I think because my story was pretty unique, background, professional big wave surfer that normally piques people's interest, Mm-hmm. And I think it's really key. You have to have like a story, right? You hear this a lot in business. Like, oh, what's your story? What's your story? Mm-hmm. And I didn't think I had a story until they actually like put my back up against the wall. They're like, what's your story? I'm like, fuck, I don't know. I'm just here. I'm just trying to make it happen like anyone else. And then I kind of realized, oh shit, my story is actually pretty nuts. And so like I had to like piece that together and then compact it and then get it presentable and then present it. And when you go in front of 5 million people to pitch a product, like you have to have a story to tie people in, and then you kind of sell the product. I watched every single episode to prepare for that show because I'm like, I'm fucking walking out with the deal. So my offer was really juicy for them. It was kind of like, it was almost inevitable unless I fucked up that I would get a deal. And then I did my research on every single one of the sharks, which is super key. Anytime you're trying to pitch investors to try and raise capital, it's super key to know your audience, right? Do your DD on every single one of them. Like find out where their kids go to school kind of a thing. Like know everything about those people. And I did that, and I basically came up with an analysis. I figured out that some of the sharks don't really close deals. Like for instance, Robert has like a sub 30% close rate. I even talked to some entrepreneurs that he had done deals with on air, and the guy just flakes. He like doesn't close deals. So I'm like, he was trying to offer me double what other people are trying to offer. If you watch the show, there was like a bidding war. And I like literally wasn't even listening to him at all. I'm like, yeah, I might have even said something like, Robert, you don't even close deals, bro. So you're out. I don't even want to hear you at all. But yeah, we ended up going with Mark, and there's a little controversy during the show. If anyone's interested, definitely go check it out. It's up on YouTube. It's a pretty good episode.
I watched that one as well. I watched it after we finished
Sick?
open house, and I was like, okay, this is sick. Because I was like, yeah, you completely denied him from the deal, and then you're like, yeah, Mark, let's do it.
Yeah, and what if I would have said, there's so many dynamics at play there, right? Because if you read in the comments, what I ended up doing in short is, Mark made me a deal and I said yes to it. And then you see people giving feedback like, oh, you never take the first deal. But what they don't understand is if you watch enough episodes and you sit and wait, what the sharks end up doing is they'll start pulling out. Like, oh yeah, we made an offer, now I'm over it. So it's like you kind of have to secure one bird, like, so that's what I did, and it worked out for me.
Yeah, you were coming for a deal and you got the deal. And
exactly.
Like, okay, that's what I wanted.
Exactly. I went in there with the fucking objection, with like I wanted to go in there and secure the bag, and that's exactly what I did.
And did you go in there looking for Mark specifically?
I wanted Mark or Damon, because Damon has a good like sports background. He closes deals. He's super cool to work with, from what I hear. But and then I would have done something with what's the Grant Barbara, but she wasn't on that episode. It was Lori, and like I didn't want to work with Lori at all, so I wasn't even entertaining her at all. Mr. Wonderful, I would have entertained because he's just hilarious. Yeah. He's super funny, and it's funny if you watch the episode because they only show you 5 to 7 minutes, but they grilled me for like 90 minutes.
90?
Yeah, 90. Each segment can go from an hour to 2 hours, and then they whittle it down to about 5 minutes. So we were going back and forth on numbers, and they were grilling me on everything, conversion, ROAS, customer acquisition costs, tacos, ACOS, everything. And I was hitting everything. And you'll see at the end what Mr. Wonderful says. He's like, I think you're crazy, but I'm pretty impressed. You knew your numbers, blah, blah, blah. So thanks, Mr. Wonderful.
Do they get people on the show then that don't really know their numbers? Because like that would be crazy.
They used to. I don't know if you're like super familiar with the show. In the beginning, they would get on kind of clowns and like rip them apart. Now the show is so large and advanced that it's kind of like seasoned entrepreneurs kind of get on. You have to know your numbers. If you don't know your numbers, you're not going to get a deal. You just look like an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like as well because we compare it to the UK, and one of our clients actually is good friends with what's his name?
Duncan Valentine.
With Duncan Valentine.
So from Dragon's Den.
From the UK Dragon's Den.
Yeah,
Dragon's Den. The UK Dragon's Den, the deals are tiny. Like the smallest deals you could think of.
And it's quite early stage as well. Like listening to the US Shark Tank is so interesting. I feel like, and we can go into this, but US economy and the US, the way approach to business is completely different to back in London.
Or just Europe.
Or Europe. Everyone's so slow moving, and that reflects in Dragon's Den to Shark Tank. Shark Tank is like the holy grail of entrepreneurs to go to it. In the UK, Dragon's Den's like, oh, you went to Dragon's Den. Oh, nice. Like, it's not really
that's crazy
that big a deal. And I don't know, I guess
I think it's a huge accomplishment, like to even get on one of those shows.
No, Dragon's Den is a good deal to get onto it. It's just like the comparison and the kind of people and the acumen of entrepreneurs you see. I think maybe as well they're just looking at America for the American guys, for big entrepreneurs, just to make it look cooler and bigger numbers. But like I feel like generally speaking, there was just a big difference between mindset, because I personally worked with loads of young Americans, and we had an American on yesterday as well. His name's Cam. He's one of Alex and I's clients too, and just the mindset of taking risk in America is just seen so differently to something like Europe.
Totally.
I just feel it's just like the entrepreneurial mindset, and it reflects, I think, in the economy and just the way that America has grown over the last like 50 to 100 years.
Absolutely. That's the American spirit, right? Yeah. Like you have to take risks. If you don't take risks, your kids will end up working for someone who did.
That hit. Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
So, okay. So in the US then, you're from California, right?
Yeah.
What particular have you noticed? Like, is there a big entrepreneurial culture? Is it everyone pushing and striving to be a businessman, or is it sort of if you're one, you're one?
Yes and no. Like a lot of people still have the old mindset that you can get by working, a regular job, and God bless those people. But it's hard to see that working nowadays, there's a lot more entrepreneurs over here I found. And that's why environment's super key. So that's kind of why I plucked myself from over there and I'm over here. In America, they're a lot more spread out. Over here, it's a lot more condensed. So it's kind of nice. That's why we're here in Bali, you know, aside for a lot of other reasons. But yeah, I don't know. Fuck. You have to take risks in life, and environment's super key.
Yeah. What's one of the biggest risks you've taken?
Surfing a 70-foot wave. You can die very quickly. Yeah, that was a pretty big risk. That was a big I mean, going on Shark Tank, I could embarrass myself, but that wasn't in the cards. No way.
Yeah, but I feel like you're prepared. It's like a calculated risk in the sense of it's not like you were a beginner.
Yeah, totally.
Kind of wave, you know, it's like a combination of confidence combined with just like a certain amount of risk.
Yeah, totally. It's definitely calculated. Like for me, it's not that big of a risk, but from someone looking from the outside, they might think that's crazy. I'm used to people telling me I'm crazy. I mean, it's funny because I look back through the glass and I'm like, your lifestyle's crazy. How can you accept that? But you know, I've come to realize I'm different. I used to think a lot of people thought like me, but that's clearly not the case. I mean, if you look at my track record and yeah, I don't know. I just feel like the biggest risk of all is taking no risks.
Didn't Peter Thiel say that? Or
Did he say that?
I think so, yeah. The biggest risk is not taking any.
That's a good book.
Zero to one. Yeah. And now after Shark Tank, so you got the deal for Mark Cuban. What was the progress after that?
Okay, so after Shark Tank, the first thing they do is they walk you into a room and sit you with the psychologist. And you have to speak with the psychologist for like 45 minutes. They want to make sure that you're not rattled, and they want to make sure that you're okay. Because I guess a lot of people that don't do well on the show, after the show tapes, they're rattled, and you know, so they just want to make sure you're okay. So you end up speaking with the psychologist. That went fine. And then after the show closes, you'll hear from your shark and their team, and they do due diligence after to make sure everything you said was, you know, accurate. I guess a lot of people lie, which is crazy to me. It's like, obviously they're going to check your numbers, bro. It's so stupid. But yeah, so they'll check your numbers. They'll do post-closing DD. And then after that, you know, they'll send the investment, whatever you guys agreed upon.
Yeah.
You're off to the races.
And then how does it work with Mark? You actually meet him in person?
Yeah, of course. He's been fantastic. Been a great mentor. Been super instrumental in our growth. Just been like a great sounding board for all of our ups and downs, highs and lows, and growth. And we speak right now. We're speaking monthly because I try to be very, you know, particular with his time. I just give him monthly updates, and he guides me.
Nice.
Yeah.
What's one of the key lessons, key things he's helped you with?
Scale profitably. You know, there's a lot of buzz in this space, like scale at all costs. It's like a lot of those companies are gone now. You know what I mean? It's like scale profitably.
It's not as easy just to like bump up the ad spend and then, we're making more.
Yeah, I've never really understood, I mean, those companies. I mean, if you're Amazon, it's different, but you have to be profitable to grow. So yeah, like kind of tune out the noise, focus on the signal, stay profitable, you know?
Yeah. Can we go deeper then into like the specific kind of advice he was giving? Like, would you be all right sharing that? Or?
Yeah, for sure. I'm just trying to think of something I could say. Yeah, ask away.
Is that, I mean, like, so between like the kind of advice that Mark was giving to you and has given to you over the past few years, like, is there anything that specifically stands out? Is it more just like day-to-day, like micro operation kind of things? Like,
well, normally it's case by case based on like the updates and conversations we're having. But his basic mindset is scale profitably. Like, don't be stupid, you know? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And has he been more valuable in terms of the network or the advice?
I'd say, that's a good question. The money's been helpful.
I can imagine.
Did you actually need the money that he was investing? No, you just wanted his advice, basically.
Yeah, okay, basically. Yeah. I mean, the way I framed it, it's funny because some people think, oh my gosh, you gave up so much of your company. Why did you do that? Only people with no companies or business acumen say that. But it's funny because I'm like, I just convinced a billionaire to give me $50K and then mentor me. You don't think that's a smart decision? I'm like, well, I think differently. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's just, again, you have to be profitable. I think that's the key to scaling a good business. And especially now with AI, like, it's a great time to be alive.
Yeah. Let's dive deeper then into AI. What are you using at the moment? How have you seen it?
Oh, man. I mean, we basically now run the business off first principles, like everything starting with AI. So all my team members, I try to give every single AI tool that I'm using to them. We're now jumping into OpenClaw. So I've got OpenClaw connected, giving me a Telegram report of all of my business channels, sales, units sold, every single morning delivered into my inbox. And then I also have an intelligence report where it will give me all the latest AI information, everything that's happening in my space CPG wise, and then anything that's happening in the latest health and performance space. So I get that in my inbox every single morning, and I'll basically start my day from there. And it's just essentially putting out fires, dealing with my heads of each growth channel, and just making sure that they have every single tool that they need and encouragement to find success for the company as we scale into retail and on our D2C channels.
And how do you go about approaching an AI system? So how long did it take to set up? And now yeah, I can imagine. And does it work, first of all?
It works. Yeah, it was very stressful to set up. Like, I mean, we were talking about this the other day. I was like pulling my hair out for like the first 2 weeks. My buddy Lewis and I, we were trying to set it up, and we were trying to do it ourselves. And I got things kind of going and set up with, like, I don't have a tech background. And it's just a crazy time to be alive, really. Like, I feel from what I've gathered, all the top CEOs are really trying to self-implement this stuff, which is super key. I think it's super important to be abreast of all the new AI tools and like just be playing with them, right? Like, at least have your system set up in a way to where you can have free time allocated to learn and play with these tools. So that's basically what I was doing, but it was stressing me out tremendously because I would get it set up, I'd find some success, and then there'd be like a disconnect with the API and it wouldn't work. And so there were a lot of highs and lows. I probably aged like a few years in the last couple of weeks just trying to implement it, but the tool's fucking amazing. It's incredible. It's incredible. What did the CEO of, what was it, NVIDIA say? It's like the single most greatest product invention in human history. It's insane.
The fastest growing, it shattered everything.
Insane.
And that just goes to show what the potential will be like.
Totally.
Like, imagine that setup process, the complexity, the headache, everything. Now imagine everyone can do that at the click of their fingers in about 6 months' time.
I think it's gonna be less than that. It might even be any day now. But you know, I feel like you have to put in that work in the beginning to like get those scars, and I'll get something out of that, right? I don't know exactly what it is yet, but I feel like at least it'll keep me on the cutting edge. That's why I like chopping it up with you guys, because you guys are playing with the latest tools and we can like cross-pollinate and like, you know, share data.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the thinking processes of like you behind in like implementing some system? Because we see a lot of people, and like this is like an ongoing kind of like meme in the AI kind of space around, oh, I just built this system and it's doing this, and it's like the question always is first principles thinking. Is this actually correlating to revenue growth? You just spent 2 weeks and $10,000 worth of credits.
Making a pretty dashboard.
That is my first question, seriously, with everything. Because I had a lot of people around me going like, oh, I'm doing it to do this. And look, I got all this set up and I have these sub-agents doing this and this. And I'd be like, but is it making you money? Well, no, you know, and it's like, 'cause that's how I was always thinking. I'm like, how can I leverage this tech to actually increase revenue? That's like a question I keep asking myself. I remember when I first got the iPhone, the first thing I thought of, I was like, how can I use this thing to make me money? That was like the first question I asked myself when I had the iPhone. I'm like, there has to be a way. People are doing it. It took me like 6 to 8 years until I figured that out. But, you know, I feel like the quality of life starts with the quality of questions you ask.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And how do you approach stuff now? So say, for example, you are speaking to a CEO who needs to adopt AI, who's looking into OpenClaw, Claude Code, whatever, those kinds of operating systems. How would you tell them to approach it? Is it just watch a bunch of YouTube videos, figure stuff out yourself, speak with your team? How would you do it?
I guess it depends on the particular CEO and the company, where they're at exactly, what's super important to them priority wise. You know, for me, like I can't speak for anyone else, but my thoughts are I want to leverage this technology to basically be a little mini auto printer. How can I make this thing be an auto printer? Like, yeah, it's cool. It can streamline processes, whatever. Like, I pretty much have a lot of those things set up already. I'm like, how can I use this thing to make money? And that's a question I continue to ask myself every single day. And we've got a few little side projects we're working on, but that's the key question, because I don't need, you know, my email streamlined, although that would be nice actually. But like, I want to use the thing to put money into my bank account. So that's the question I'm constantly asking myself. I'm not, you know, making pictures of cats and shit. Like I want this thing to start printing. That's the question I'm asking, right? Because, you need money to survive nowadays. Cost of living is going up all around the world. And, you got to combat it by having these things called greenbacks, currency units.
And let's dive
cheddar.
Let's dive deeper. How exactly are you using it to make money? What's the approach?
Right now, the best use case for me is automating content creation and posting that is top of funnel that drives to a call to action link.
Okay, so like ad creators.
Mm-hmm.
And are you looking at then the back end data from the Facebook ad creatives, getting that all tracked, optimizing?
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Of course. Yeah.
And then for that, then creating the content, how do you approach it? Do you give that to your marketing team and say, this is what's working?
Yes. Yep, exactly. And then it's basically everything is a test, A/B split test, iterate, test, iterate, test, iterate, test, iterate. That's basically the name of the game. I've always you kind of start wandering and thinking like, is there a magic bullet? Is there something someone's doing that I'm not doing? But I pretty much come to realize everything is just basically a giant test. You have to just continue rolling the dice, taking risks, gather data, self-update, then redeploy capital and test again. And rinse and repeat.
Yeah, particularly for like an e-commerce company, you guys obviously like pretty much all marketing and then delivery, and delivery is like just sending product. Obviously, supply chain. I'm guessing you already have those kind of systems dialed in. So for you, it's just like more marketing, more money.
Pretty much, yeah. Because we think top of funnel, because we have a proven product that's fucking dynamite. Everyone loves it, who tries it, and we can deliver. And so basically, I'm just thinking like top of funnel, more customers, and so that's where creatives come in, right? Yep. And then how do you produce more creatives at scale, right? And then get more feedback to then reiterate and retest, and that's where AI comes in.
So what are you doing right now then to do that? Are you running like through Higsfield? Are you already sort of using AI for this, or?
We're doing statics creation through AI. We're also doing AI UGC. We're combining both of those. We're also combining like real content with AI UGC and testing that. It's a combination of all those tests, Yeah.
Okay, so for a business owner that's watching this right now, let's say they're an e-com company, around 40 people, similar to yourself. How do they approach creatives? Do they have to connect their Facebook? Then what do they learn from the Facebook? What do they actually implement the marketing? Just like the step by step, how would a business owner right now do it?
How would a business owner implement creatives to acquire
the
customers?
systems which you're finding generates revenue?
Yeah, they would have to basically, it's a 40-person e-commerce company. I'm thinking, I need to fire like 50% of those people. Why would you need 40 people for an e-commerce company? But I don't know. It's different for everyone. I mean, I guess you would have to ask me a more specific question than that, because I wouldn't even know where to start. Yeah. I mean, that's a loaded question.
Yeah. Okay, let's then dive deeper.
Yeah.
So the creatives is one area.
Yeah.
The media, seeing what's working and what's not. What's another area then which is actually generating revenue? An AI system which is generating revenue.
That right now seems to be the best one for us. What are you guys using? What are you guys seeing that's generating revenue?
That's very interesting. Last week we were in Uluwatu with an e-com client, and this is exactly the system we built out for them. Tracking all of their creatives, tracking all of their marketing, tracking all of their ROAS, all of the metrics from everything, triple whale, whatever, and then plugging it into an engine, combined with their company's knowledge, KPIs, SOPs, everything, and then understanding where the market is going as well. So understanding what the trends are, and then combining it into this big kind of operating system, which then recommends, okay, the market's actually going this way, and your creators are flourishing around here. This is what we recommend based on your KPIs and the goals you want to achieve. And like a system like that, which has then the data from your company or from the Facebook and creatives, combined with your company knowledge, and then combined with also historic data on the internet and what the trends are looking like, that maybe we've found has provided a lot more granularity to an e-com company, specifically them, because they've got socials on dial, they've got millions and millions of followers. They can easily just turn one knob, turn another, and then see the revenue fluctuate.
The bottleneck still seems to be content creation and posting at scale, right? Because it's one thing to collect all the data. I feel like that's kind of step one. Like the holy grail for me is if you can get quality content with continuity auto posted. That seems to be the holy grail.
Yeah.
What
And
are we structuring them for them? You want to say on like the posting stuff? Because like with filming creatives and stuff, specifically for that company, because it's tied as well to a personal brand, it still is the personal brand, the individual who is still filming the creators himself. I guess like depending on what you guys are doing with like affiliates and UGC would be different. But if you're saying you're running like banner and static ads, I mean, what would really change from one static ad to the another other than just like the text, a bit of the copy, and
I mean, the creative itself, the text,
Yeah.
the hook. Yeah. I mean, endless versions to test. Yeah.
yeah. But I guess then images is exactly what AI can excel in.
Yeah,
So that's perfect.
for sure.
Maybe a bit of tweaking human in the loop.
Yeah.
And then once you refine that, then you can immediately automate that.
Yeah. It's crazy to think that AI is the worst it'll ever be right now.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I feel like from what we've experienced, and this might be different when this comes out, but it can do as far as creatives, it's like 98%, but then you still need a human to go in and kind of touch things up because it's just not quite there. But I guess if you're targeting the demographic that's like, oh man, maybe 40 to 60, it works on them very well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I can just see it. I don't know what it is. Like, yeah. And, you know, these are the tools we have access to. Imagine the tools that we don't have access to. It's probably fucking flawless.
Yeah. And so you mentioned about first principles. Are you familiar with Elon Musk's sort of algorithm, the 4-step,
Tell me.
5-step? Because this leads into what we were talking about earlier. So his first thing, he's lives by this principle. It's like he's made this mistake so many times in his companies, he drills it into every single one of his employees. First one is challenge the requirements, see if what you're actually doing is actually needed. Second thing is delete all unnecessary parts, then simplify, and then automate. So automating is the last one.
Yeah.
And that goes to what we were saying about earlier. Oh, you can build this AI system which automates everything, every part of the funnel, blah, blah, blah. But what's the point of automating it when you don't even need that part in the funnel? And if that part is not even simplified, and even if you don't even need it at all, like what's the point of automating it? So that's why the human in the loop stage and what the way we built it out for this customer is we understood, okay, we want to create so much data. We basically want them to fail, because if they fail, we can gather all that data and then put it back into the system and keep iterating on that loop, seeing what's not working and what is working, and then just blast it out from there. And then the more data, the more failure. The feedback loop is faster.
Yeah.
And then the speed to failure or speed to success is going to be faster
Right.
in turn. So then once we get hit those conversion numbers, then we only start to automate. And that's the thing with the human in the loop. There's so much you can create around automating content, but how do you see what's really got a finger in the pulse and it's consistently working with human input, and then you can put the AI systems in place to automate it. So I guess maybe that would be a point to what we were saying earlier, about the media creation. Is it actually working? What's the best way of approaching it? Have we got everything on a dial? Have we looked at those 4 principles? Have we simplified, challenged requirements, deleted everything? And then we automate it at the end. This is the way we started our company, or what we're doing right now, because everyone's talking about AI for AI's sake, right? It's oh, I can do AI this, AI that. But is it actually useful?
Yeah.
So I guess, how do you see that playing out? Have you thought of a principle? Is that sort of the principles you were talking about? Have you heard that before?
I love Elon and everything he's doing. I think he's absolutely tremendous. I think there's a lot of brilliance and simplicity. I try to run my company as simple as possible. Right now with my VP of Ops, we're creating SOPs across every single touch point to try and streamline things and make them more efficient. And then after that, then we would implement and automate. But we're pretty close to getting there. But, these things take time. But like you said, how I've been thinking about AI is I'm just trying to think of the best ways to use it to produce income. And so far, the best ways I found, and I'm still gathering data, is top of funnel creatives, automated posting with a CTA,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Have you guys found anything better than that?
What was Cam talking about yesterday? A lot of, basically a lot of upsells. he was finding a lot of upsells was working. And then just testing the upsell, like, okay, well, if you don't want this, okay, try package it with 3 and you can get 3 for the price of 2 or whatever.
Bundling?
Yeah, exactly. And he had like 6 upsells. He found like that was a magic number, tested the creatives. And it's actually what we're doing with the Telegram right now. Simulate all the different environments.
Yeah,
Simulate
LTV.
everything, gather as much data as you can, and then you can start calculating what's actually working.
I guess it's a lot different though for your company, right? Because are you guys more of a one-time product?
No, not quite.
No?
I mean, right now, what's working for us, it's funny, we're running a funnel right now that's converting at like 10% off of Meta, which is like kind of the best. We actually 12% the other day. But basically what we're doing is, and we've always sold bundles, but this particular funnel really forces people to buy bundles. Mm-hmm. My head of growth, I was like kind of looking over his shoulder. I'm like, all right, let's go, let's test it. And it's fucking working really well. Our AOV has jumped up like 30%. The numbers are, like I said, the conversion rate's around 12%, which is very good for us. Yeah. So we're pretty happy with that funnel. But it's funny, it's like, because the website, we've always offered bundles, but until you actually force the customer like down a funnel where basically they can't buy anything but the bundle, I didn't think that would be efficient, but clearly it seems to be working. So we're happy with that.
So product offering, what is included, for example, in the bundle?
Instead of 1 product, you get 2 or 3
of the beanies, the same product. Oh, okay.
Yeah. And is it a single upsell?
No, actually, after the purchase, there's an upsell for ice shades, which is our ancillary product, and ice sleeve. So we've got 3 primary products: Ice Beanie, compression cold therapy for your head, provides all natural pain relief from migraines, headaches, hangovers, concussions, and then Ice Shades, which provides compression cold therapy for your face and eyes, reduces eye puffiness, dark circles, stuff like that. Fucking thing's amazing. I use it like midday, take a quick nap, put that thing on the face. You wake up feeling rejuvenated if you're like buzzed out on screen time. And then Ice Sleeve, which is our compression cold therapy, proprietary gel tech for your elbows and knees. So we sell all 3 of those products, and yeah, we'll bundle them together and it increases the AOV, and then you could pay more for your customer acquisition costs. So you guys know all this stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been going well, but just experimenting with different things, having fun, just trying to blow this thing up.
Nice. And what kind of okay, so going back, what kind of principles, how do you get to something like this? How do you understand, like, I need to approach it in first principles, or how do you think about a business challenge, for example?
I just think of, first of all, if there's a challenge, I try to reframe it in a way like, how is this helping me? Which is very difficult to do. You can use this across any domains in life. If something terrible happens to you, if you just reframe it in a way, well, how is it helping me? Even the most fucked up things. Because if you actually take it back to the real first principles, laws of the universe, there's no light without dark. Like as below, as above kind of a thing. Like there's good and bad in every single situation. A lot of times we see something and we'll just kind of frame it in a way like that's bad. But actually there's good in it too. You just have to figure out what the good is. And if you focus on that, you can convert something that you thought was bad just from a different mental framework. So I'll start with that, and then I try to solve it in the most simple way possible. And then if I start to get too stressed out, I just put it on my VP of operations plate. I'm like, can you deal with this?
Fair enough.
How big's your team?
Right now we're pretty lean and mean. 4 of us.
Oh, okay. Wow. Way less than 40. Yeah.
Yeah.
Including Mark or no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't include Mark really. Mark, you're not going to get a billionaire to work for your company. You know what I mean?
Mark's put him on the LinkedIn.
Yeah, no. We don't.
Chairman?
Yeah.
Okay, so for the first principles, how did you come up with, what actually got you into thinking like that? Was there a key business situation where it's helped out?
Well, I've heard Elon and them talk about that a lot. And then this is kind of how my brain works. Like I like to refine things down to keep things very simple. I feel like the more complex something gets, the more inefficient it is. And if you just whittle things down and keep it really simple, there's brilliance in simplicity, you know, like with everything. People try to make things too complex. Like things are quite simple, really, you know, just try to execute, keep it simple. Yeah.
What was the hardest decision you've ever had to make in business? I feel like that'd be an interesting one, because what I've seen with a lot of guys is that like they get into a tough lane, a tough situation, and then they like have a choice to either like continue going all in or sort of like back away. And I've seen like from a lot of people, like they will just go in and take like a massive risk at one point, and it pretty much pays off every single time. But like, for you, has there been like a big decision that you had to make and pulled it off?
Like we were saying earlier, you have to take risks in life. And one moment that pops to mind was before we closed Mark Cuban for Shark Tank, there was a delay while they do due diligence after the show. And we had aired, and so we sold out across all of our channels, made a good chunk of money. And to fund that inventory, I used a 0% APR credit card. And so my idea was I would fund the inventory with the 0% APR, and then by time it was due, I'd have enough capital to then pay off the card. And it was like, 28% or so that would be due like in 12 months. And like the day of that it was due, I finally had enough money. It came through and I made the payment and I was able to pay off the card. But that was super stressful because like I really don't like going into debt, because from my real estate mindset is like I only take on debt that cash flows. But in business, there's moments where you kind of have to make a very calculated decision. Like, okay, I might have to take on a little bit of debt right here just to get through this. And we did that. And luckily our company has zero debt, but there's those times when you have to leverage 0% APR credit cards when you're just starting out and you're scrappy. Like no plan B. I don't have a rich uncle. Like I started from nothing. Like I scrapped all this together. I competed. I won events. I took the money from the events. I deployed it into real estate. And then from the real estate, I then took some money and then deployed it into business. And you got to take risks in life. That's the big takeaway, really.
Mm-hmm. And we've touched upon real estate a few times now. What's sort of your goal around real estate, and what are you trying to do? What do you see it as a vehicle for?
Right now, a vehicle for freedom. Like the whole reason why I started the company was not only to address my own problem, but to provide freedom. Like it's not about money for me. It's about what money can provide for myself and my family. Because the way I look at the world is that we're all being forced to play this game, right? A lot of people don't even realize the game that we're being forced to play. It starts with money. What is money? We talked about that earlier. The fact that the people at the top, they manipulate the money supply. You really have to understand this, because then you'll operate a lot differently. And so when I realized that we're all being forced to play this game, it seems like the only way out is through equity through real estate or through business. And from my knowledge, there's 4 ways to basically acquire equity. 1, invest in your own business. 2, invest in someone else's business. 3, raise money to invest in your business. Or 4, raise someone else's money to invest in their business or equity. And so the reason why I invested in real estate is for freedom. The reason why I started the business is for freedom. The business capital I'll take out and put into real estate. My personal funds I'll take out from the business and I'll deploy it into real estate. And that kind of feeds on itself. And my goal is at least 50 units by the end of next year to be able to take care of, my friends and my family in perpetuity, so they don't have to stress about going to work every single day, so they don't have to keep paying the fucking banks and the government, which is just insane. Like I had to read a lot of finance books to basically figure out, we've got 24 hours in a day, right? And 8 of those hours you're going to be sleeping, and the other 2/3 you're working and basically eating. And the way I've calculated it is basically the government and the big banks take about 1/3 of every dollar you earn, and the government takes about 1/3. So that leaves you with 1/3 of every single dollar. With that 1/3, you then have to deploy it in a way that will get you and your family financially free. So a lot of people, they earn $1 and like, cool, I got a full dollar. No, you actually have 1/3. And then there's this thing called inflation, which basically annualizes anywhere from 8 to 12%, depending on who you talk to. And so basically you're holding this money that they're printing out of thin air. It's like a fucking ice cube in your hand melting, and you have to quickly try to deploy it somewhere where it will produce more currency units so you can take care of your friends and family. So I feel like the window is closing, friends. And so I have a deep sense of urgency to build a business, acquire the real estate so I can take care of my friends and family. And so we can not only you want to win the game so you can opt out of it. That's the goal, essentially.
Mm-hmm. And do you feel like there's a changing of the world order?
I do. There's always change and there's always opportunity. I feel like the cool thing about the things that we're discussing with AI is if you have a phone, if you have access to internet, and you feel like you're called to do something different, you can achieve financial freedom by making money online. It doesn't really matter where you are or where you're from or anything anymore. If you have access to internet and you have a phone, you can make money online.
Mm-hmm.
And the crazy thing is I learned how to build my business from YouTube. So it's like, I tell anyone like, bro, you want to learn how to do something, fucking go on YouTube. Like literally you can learn anything for free right now on YouTube.
Yeah.
But the wild thing is most people are just watchers. They like won't sit down and put in the work. I realize that. Like I used to think there's a lot more people like us, but I feel like if you feel it in your heart and you feel called to do it, then it's destined for you and you should do it. Like don't listen to what anyone else has to say. Don't listen. Sometimes you can't even listen to family. Family sometimes gives you the worst advice. The worst advice. You have to block all that shit out. You have to take the arrows in the back. You have to deploy your energy properly. You have to stay focused and, reach for freedom. That's my goals anyways.
Yeah. And don't you feel like it's an even better time now? YouTube, but then now we have AI. Imagine you've got the most personalized knowledge specifically for you.
Totally.
Not even like you don't even have to watch through half an hour worth of YouTube videos and stuff. You got it right there.
Yeah.
Like, is there no better time than now?
Seriously.
Why do you think then people aren't making the most of it?
I don't know. I don't know. I think fear. I think a lot of people are operating based out of fear. And, I feel like the treasure you seek is inside the cave that you're avoiding. Yeah. Like everything you want in this life is just outside your comfort zone. You just have to have enough courage to push through that fear.
Yeah. And haven't you seen that from the risk taking it at Shark Tank or big wave surfing?
Totally.
And then, so what would you say to someone then about looking at that risk? What would you say in terms of making that leap?
Like I said earlier, like if you feel a calling inside you, then you must take that first step. And the biggest risk of all is taking no risks. If you don't take a risk, your children will end up working for someone who did. And if that doesn't fire you up, I don't know what the fuck will.
Yeah. That's interesting. Let's get back into talking about, okay, where do we really see the world heading in about 5? To be honest, 5 years is a long time right now. Let's say 6 months, 1 year, and then even later, 5-10 years.
It's going to be very tumultuous. I feel like things oscillate between chaos and order, right? Right now, I think most people would say it's pretty chaotic. So what's going to come after chaos? Order. So if we're looking at all these tools, I think it's a good time to be focusing on leveraging AI. As far as where I think the world is headed, I think things are going to get more expensive and things are going to get harder. Simultaneously, it's never been easier than today to start a business, leveraging AI, YouTube, and be able to print money from your phone. So for the people who are actually trying and have enough courage to try and fail and try again, they'll be successful. For the people that are just riddled with fear and that listen to haters, they're going to be left behind. But that's the name of the game, I guess. I would say something that's super interesting to me is that you look at someone like Elon and you think of the robots, right? They have now figured out the dexterity of the hand. Once the robots are able to go and extract the earth minerals to then produce the energy to then fuel the production of the robots, and that automated loop is then auto-producing robots, it's fucking going to be very interesting what the world looks like then. And I think we're about 18 months away from that.
Yeah.
Because like, think about that. Once the robots are able to fucking make themselves, then what? Mm-hmm. Then what?
But that's the physical manifestation of it.
Yeah.
But the digital manifestation has already happened.
Yeah.
Like, for example, with Claude or with all of these tools, they're now good enough to do the data scientist research work part of it,
right,
where they can now start auto-improving themselves. And therefore, you're not constrained by 1,000 AI researchers at a big company. You've got 1 million AI agents, which are working 24/7 to make the technology even better. And then it's going to be like this area and then go shooting up, like reaching singularity.
Yeah, it's going to be wild. I just keep thinking about the robots, and then once they combine AGI in those robots, I don't know what the world's going to look like. It's going to be very bizarre because you have to think like, so the dollar is a reserve currency right now. What is that backed by? Well, it's backed by the U.S. military, which is the strongest military in the world. But those are humans. What happens when the robots can then create robots? Whoever figures that out first, which it looks like Elon is in the lead, that will be the new leader because, bro, what are you going to do against someone or a nation that has 1 trillion robots. Like, you ain't doing nothing, nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's wild to think about. But
Do you think people are getting dumber?
are people getting dumber? Fuck. I mean, sure seems like it in my day-to-day life. I don't know. It's like simultaneously, right? Like, it seems like with technology, you're able to get smarter, but then we're also using less of our brains. So it seems like it's just kind of trending in that direction, but I don't know.
Because I think from what we used to, like what I was speaking about very recently, there's a topic that's starting to come up specifically in like the marketing world around like using AI for marketing, for writing copy, for writing ads and organic and all of that. And a lot of people who are or very good marketers at the very top of their game, very negative about it. And I always try to look behind the curtains as to why they might be negative about it. And normally it comes down to 2 points. And it's quite interesting because they're very counterintuitive to each other. One is normally that it's not good enough. And the second is that you're just not good at marketing if you use it, which are 2 very opposite points to each other. Normally the same people are saying both things at the same time, which obviously doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. I think in the most simplest terms, I look at AI as something that either you can learn to use it or it's going to use you. So if you just keep it simple like that, we're talking about keeping things simple. I thought about it like that. I'm like, okay, so I just have to use it. Like, I just have to start learning it. I just have to start doing it every single day. And, you know, the funny thing is you can use AI to teach you AI. You know what I mean? You have a question. I'm like, it can literally teach you. So there's really no excuse, especially the amount of time people spend on their phones just fucking doom scrolling. Like, we all do it. Like, I have a timer set on my shit, but to be honest, it's just insane. So we all have 24 hours in a day, right? It's just where you allocate your bandwidth. So yeah, we'll see what happens. It's pretty wild. But, you know, you hear people talk about displacement of jobs. Oh, AI is going to take jobs. No one ever talks about the jobs that it's creating. Like, we think about the laws of the universe. For something to be destroyed, something is also created. No one talks about that ever, right? I think I just saw a post about teachers back, I don't know, a few decades ago protesting calculators. They're like, it's going to take our jobs.
Yeah.
No, it just almost made you more efficient, and then there's more jobs created. So it's nothing can be destroyed and not create something also at the same time, right? It's like displacing water kind of a thing, you know?
Yeah, it's like
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Every action has that opposite and equal reaction,
exactly.
Yeah.
What's the saying? It's like history doesn't repeat itself, but
It rhymes.
It rhymes. Yeah. I guess it's the same thing. Like, look at the Industrial Revolution. You know, like, people were the same thing. The mindset was terrible, and then it was like, okay, you're just gonna complain that your job got taken when you were screwing on toothpaste lids, or are you gonna become better skilled and learn how to manage a team or build what is building the
I think you just have to
products.
become more useful, right? Capital flows where it's treated best and where you're most efficient. So if you're scared about AI taking your job, learn AI and then 10x your output, and then go to your boss and be like, here's what I'm doing. I just 10x my output. Give me a fucking raise. You know, if you don't know how to talk to him, ask AI how to craft an email for you. You know what I mean? Like, come on, guys, use the tool to help yourself. If it's important to you. If it's not, then just sit back and watch a show. It's going to be wild.
We were saying this earlier about the tractors. Like, agriculture was 50% of jobs back in the day. Only 100 years ago, 100 to 150 years ago, 50% of the world's jobs was in agriculture. Now it's less than 2%. And it's not that we've lost 48% of jobs. We've actually gained more jobs because they're, I don't know, producing the milk or the dairy industries or whatever. They're doing the distribution, manufacturing, whatever. Like, now, okay, people won't be entering numbers into a spreadsheet or aligning PowerPoint presentations or whatever. But now that nobody wanted to do that.
Yeah.
And imagine what the 10x exponential output of humanity will be.
Exactly. And these tools, they're just that, they're tools, right? And it frees people up to think of new ideas. We always discount that. It's like, okay, you're going to now be freed up because the tool is going to automate a lot of the bullshit processes. You're going to then think of new ideas and new tools that'll create new jobs, you know?
What do you think about Elon's space exploration principles?
Tell me about them. I don't know.
Well, I think because it's going to free up a few jobs.
I like Earth. I'm good on Earth. I love Elon and what he's trying to do. That's awesome. I'm very happy on Earth until I see something that replicates what the ocean can offer. I'll be down here on Earth.
Fair enough. You like the ocean.
Mars. Yeah. I'm chilling down here. I like Earth. Earth's pretty fucking amazing. You know,
not bad,
but I commend him for what he's doing. I mean, you look at all the money wasted with NASA. I think they spent like over $2 trillion. Like, what are those fucking clowns doing?
Mhm.
Like, it's not rocket science. Okay, I guess it is rocket science, but but yeah, Elon could do it way better. He's a G. I mean, it's crazy. And then you think about everyone talking about, oh, we need guardrails on AI. I listen to really smart people talk about guardrails on AI, and I'm like, as a competitor with a competitive background, like, there's no point in talking about that because no one plays fair. You're going to tell me that we can all be in agreement across the world. Okay, you guys don't try that hard. We're not going to try that hard either. Okay, there's no point in even talking about that. It's just the cat's out of the bag. Everyone just like jump in or fucking strap on for the ride because it's going to be nuts. Like, you might as well start using these tools. And it's funny, you hear Elon talk about this. He was even saying that in the beginning. And these guys are way smarter than us. They're like, we need guardrails, we need rules. And I'm like, how is that possible? There's no way. There's no way.
Yeah.
You can't stop it. There's no way. And if you're talking about stopping it, you're literally wasting time. You're like stuck in the mud.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're protesting the cars that it's gonna, you know, that horses are better. It's like, just what are you doing?
But then I guess the only way to really enforce safety on AI is build it so fast, make it superior, and then use that but then you can say the complete opposite thing.
Yeah, you can. Exactly.
So it's a scary future.
It is a scary future. I mean, I keep thinking about the robots that are going to be able to self-replicate, because then obviously they're going to be able to implement AI inside their brains. But like, literally, just think about that. Like, right now within factories, we have humans still doing some things. A lot of the things are automated. But what happens when the robots can then create robots? Then they could build up buildings 24/7. They can be armies anywhere, you know, because basically the thing that underpins everything is violence. Like, if you don't pay your parking ticket, you take that all the way down, like, someone will end up knocking at your door. Violence. You try to fight with them, violence, you know? So the people who are going to control the robots are going to control the world. And so pay very close attention to those people that are figuring that out.
But then also, if we talk about the next frontier of humanity is to go into space, the people that control the distribution to space, it's like there's one train line and you only control that one train line, and that train line's like the most important thing, where it gets from one planet to another.
It's going to be wild.
It's going to be a fun future.
I'm excited. I'm just trying to leverage it right now to grow the business as much as I can, optimize my health so I can opt out of this game altogether. Because like I said, the game we're all being forced to play it's not fair. Mm-hmm. Life's not fair. But on the flip side is there's so many of these amazing tools right now. Like, if you're watching YouTube or listening to this and you have access to the internet, you can start making money online. You can achieve financial freedom if you just focus, stay disciplined, add value to the marketplace of e-commerce, and, you know, have courage, basically. That's kind of what I want to inspire. I want to inspire kids to have courageous, or go after courageous sovereignty, you know, like, have agency over yourself and your family. And the only way you do that is by making enough money to free them from the slave wage game.
Mm-hmm. And do you feel like that's your life's mission? Do you feel like there's a bigger purpose?
Yeah, maybe. It's definitely one of my highest values, freedom, for sure. Mm-hmm. And that stemmed from childhood trauma of not having it, you know, through self-reflection. That's what I've realized. Yeah.
And do you delve much into the spiritual side of stuff?
Sure. Yeah.
The Bali spiritual.
What do you mean by that?
There's levels. I think coming here to Bali, I've learned personally, there's so much else out there. So I meditate, visualize, and all that kind of stuff.
For sure. Yeah.
And then coming here and then just speaking with people, it's like, there's so much more to understand about yourself through understanding a higher power, understanding maybe the laws of the universe, let's say that.
Yeah.
And what do you sort of delve into? What have you found?
I believe in God, Jesus Christ. And if you kind of look at all the data across all the religions, his teachings and the 10 Commandments and how nothing is basically being forced in comparison to other religions. I kind of align a lot more with that. And it's crazy. Like if you look at, for instance, all the stories in the Bible, how they're all written from different people around different times around the world. And they all basically said the same thing about one guy. It's pretty wild. Like that makes it hard to believe that, you know, he was anything other than what people said he was. I forget the quote, but someone said he's either a liar, a lunatic, or Lord, and definitely doesn't look like a liar or lunatic, you know? So that's what I believe. I believe in God, and I think he created everything. I think everything is by design. The world is too interesting to think that this was just all an accident. I don't think it was an accident. I think it was created. I think all this shit was created. And I think if you understand the laws of the universe, it's kind of like the cheat codes to the game, right? So like I dove deep into all those, really try to focus on honing all those. And, you know, you fall off track sometimes, but I think the game is just like recalibrating yourself, how quickly you can recalibrate yourself to be back into present and just kind of operate from first principles and from the laws of the universe and stuff like that. Like for instance, and you see this play out in real world applications, right? Like for instance, a farmer has to like plow the field first, put in the work before he can then plant the seeds. And then after he plants the seed, he has to wait months or whatever, put water down, and then he can harvest, right? So it's like you reap what you sow kind of a thing. And there's just interesting patterns across all religions when it comes to, some people call it karma, but that's like, you could call that one of the laws of the universe too. Like if you do terrible things tend to come back to you. We all have friends, whatever, where you see they get caught up in that shit. And so, yeah, I don't know. I just try to operate based on the laws of the universe and show respect to God because it seems like he created everything.
Yeah. And what role do you think, how instrumental do you think faith has been in your success?
It's super instrumental, but you also have to take action. You can't just think like, oh, I want A, B, and C and not do anything. I think you have to combine inspired thought with courage and also relentless action. If you combine those two things, then you end up having some sort of outcome that's either a data set that you can then recalibrate on and improve. And if you just keep going down that loop, eventually you'll find success. Like if you just keep trying and you're relentless, you will be successul 100%.
Do you feel like everything then like just distills from the same like key sort of principles of just living life? Like if you just stand by a set of principles and you're going to be happy, have a purpose. And
what do you mean?
Do you feel like everything just sort of funnels, religions, everything, and just like being happy and having a good life and being successful just stems to the same principles?
I don't know. I'm still trying to navigate this world. You know, I'm a work in progress. God's not finished with me yet, but I feel like you get some of these little cheat codes like from the laws of the universe. And if you just implement them in your life, you can find success. And this idea of aiming for happiness, I think is a fallacy. I don't think we're supposed to be happy all the time. I think that's a lie. The human experience has ups and downs, and it's like a roller coaster, and you kind of have to just enjoy the ups and downs. Like the highs aren't as good as well. The highs are good when you can actually look back and be like, fuck, remember how down I was, you know what I mean? So it's just part of the human experience, ups and downs. I don't know. It's a crazy world. It's insane. I think it's all by design. I'm just fucking trying to be courageous and inspire other people to be the same.
Perfect. Well, to finish off, what is your plan for the future? What do you expect people to see in a few years from yourself?
For me, I'm going to probably grow Ice Beanie to about 50 million in enterprise value, potentially entertain a sale. I'll then deploy a lot of that capital into multifamily real estate and just take care of my friends and family, opt out of the game. But you're always kind of like building something. I've already experimented in my mind of like retirement, and I don't think you never really retire. You always kind of have to be building something. Like we're creators, we're creators. We need to be constantly building and producing something. So that's kind of my path. And I just, while I'm on that path, I'd like to, inspire people to just be more courageous. Like that's one thing I think that holds a lot of people back is the lack of courage. And we all have it within us, some more than others, but we all have it within us. And so it's like just important to try to inspire other people to be more courageous. Like be courageous to start that business or take that risk or, talk to that girl. It doesn't matter. Just be courageous. Because when you're courageous, good things tend to happen, right?
Mhm.
And when you're not, your life sucks.
Good ending. Awesome.
Cool.
Amazing.
Well,
Thank you,
thanks for
Nick.
having
Yeah, of course. Thanks, boys.
Amazing, man.
Good stuff. Good stuff.